So it's been 1 week since the early access release for Palworld, and so far this past week I've managed to get about 7 hours of gameplay in. About one of those hours was with OBS running in the background, which really does hurt the frame rate a little bit, as you can see up on screen at the moment, because this game is running at the moment with OBS running on a second screen on a Steam Deck. And yes, there's been a lot of controversy around Palworld. You know, a lot of people accusing it of being a Pokemon clone, the AI, but let's talk about how it actually runs on the Steam Deck. So, it runs pretty damn well. The closest game I have to compare this to, because I don't have a massive enough library and I've only been playing around on YouTube for about a year, but if I go back 1 year to when Sons of the Forest released, that game barely ran on my Steam Deck, never mind actually running it dual screen with OBS running. So compared with a bigger studio like the people behind Sons of the Forest, is it End Night? There we go, yeah, I believe it's End Night. If you compare it with an already established studio, yeah, they've done pretty well. This game is much better optimised. Another game we could compare it to is ARK. The first time I tried to play ARK on my Steam Deck, even with the settings on absolute minimum, I couldn't do a thing. Cancel that. I always press the wrong button in these games. But anyway, when I was trying to run ARK on the Steam Deck, not only was the frame rate pathetically low, but the graphics were even lower than what we're seeing right now on Palworld. So, I'm quite happy graphics-wise. The frame rate on Palworld at the moment on the Steam Deck, when I'm running handheld with low settings, tends to average at around 25 frames per second. Yeah, that's not a particularly massive number, but we do have to remember that the Steam Deck isn't the most powerful machine going, and on top of that, yeah, it's in early access, you just have to expect these things to be not particularly powerful. I know the odds are low on this, but I'd really love to catch it. Come on, let me have it. Hey! So yeah, what was I saying? It handles quite well on Steam Deck. I have had 2 crashes so far to date. Since I lowered the resolution, I have not had those crashes again. Granted, the first crash was when I was running at a higher resolution than I probably should be doing on a Steam Deck. We are currently running, I believe, on 720p. Let's just double check that one. Why do I have the graphics so low right now? Let's just dial that back up. It should be 720p. What was I saying? Honestly can't remember now. So yeah, the 2 crashes that I have had on Steam Deck so far, and it's just 2 crashes, that's all I've suffered so far. The first crash was me running the game on 1080p with OBS running on the side with a second screen. Yeah, the Steam Deck clearly couldn't handle that, and it was very quick to punish me. Moving on to the second crash, I was already on 720p then, and it was when I went into one of the dungeons. Again, I had OBS running on the side. When I came back in handheld mode, without OBS running and without having a second screen, because of course I'm in handheld mode, worked perfectly fine, no crashes whatsoever. So the game is pretty stable on the Steam Deck. I've not had any problems when all I've been doing is playing the game like a regular person. The only problems I seem to have, because again, 80% of my game time at the moment is when I'm running it handheld. I've had none of the problems when it's handheld, only when I'm running it in desktop mode with a second screen with OBS. So I'm quite happy with the results that we're getting so far, especially for this early access game. Now yeah, there is always going to be room for improvement, especially in my hardware setup. It is a consistent reminder that I need to improve my hardware, get myself a proper computer to handle the game, and have the Steam Deck just process the OBS side. That would be a good way to move forward with my particular setup, but when it comes to Palworld specifically, yeah, I'm quite enjoying what I'm seeing here. Cherry rifle. Oh no, wrong button. No, don't go to sleep. Okay, the cherry rifle's running at least. Why did I go to sleep? Got too close to the bed. Oh, my guys are brutal. Sweet, there we go. Got some more power spheres. So outside of my experiences with Palworld crashing on me, specifically when I'm recording for OBS, what do I think about the game itself and what's my history with games like this? As I alluded to earlier, I've played games like The Forest, Sons of the Forest. I did dabble briefly with ARK Survival Evolved, but I couldn't really get the feel for that particular game. Now, Pokemon games, I'm very, very familiar with Pokemon games, let's say, because I started all the way back with Pokemon Ruby and worked my way backwards and forwards from there. So, big Pokemon fan. The only Pokemon games I've actually enjoyed quite thoroughly in recent times, though, is Pokemon Legends Arceus. Any other Pokemon game has just been a bit lackluster because they don't innovate at all. It's always just the same formula with a new gimmick every generation, which then gets removed before they release the next generation. There's never any improvement with that game, and if I were to go back to Sword and Shield or Scarlet and Violet, which I never even bothered buying, it almost feels like I'm playing Pokemon Ruby again, only it's 3D, not 2D, and I kind of preferred the 2D aesthetics, to be honest. This game, however, it gives me everything I pretty much ever wanted out of a Pokemon game. I shouldn't really say that because I've already said that for the review video that I did for Cassette Beasts. Check it out, or probably link it at the end of this video. You know what, let's try something a little bit risque. Let's go to fast travel, and we are going to go for the boss. Oh, no, come on, we can get it there. Where is the location for the big bad boss? That's the one. The Syndicate Tower. Now, I have attempted the boss once before already, and I got massacred. But hopefully that won't be the case this time. Okay, so this is just going to be a quick little experiment. I've got the graphics settings turned down, even further down than 720p. I want to see if I can do the boss without it crashing on me. Question is for me, what settings can I comfortably get Palworld on for recording on a Steam Deck without it crashing? That's my objective at the moment. Now, of course, lower settings aren't always as visually appealing, but I want to be able to play this game and record footage and actually have a good enough experience here. Here we go. So the cinematics frame rate isn't too appalling, so we'll see how things go. Again, early access plus Steam Deck. Can't expect anything amazing, but this is actually running now without it crashing. Next up, I need my bow and arrow. Why did I only come with 3 arrows? That's silly of me. Ouch. Ah, run away. Well, at least I can record this bit now. I just have to keep the graphics settings as low as is humanly possible. Let's be honest, it was probably a little bit early for me to go after this guy. Ah, run. Run, run, run. I wonder if my guys are actually going to be healing enough in the background for me to be able to substitute them back in. Come on, get some damage. What I do like here is that... Oh, shoot. There we go, I'm hiding. And I'm running out of health. How did that happen? Oh dear. Need to actually use the dodge button. Right, if I lose now. Hey! Okay, that was not easy. So we now know we can do dungeons whilst recording on OBS. I just have to lower the resolution settings just a little bit further. Learned Power Shot Blast. That's interesting. Oh, and okay, we have a teleport pad up top here. That comes in quite handy for gliding, doesn't it? All these locations I could reach. I mean, it'd look a lot nicer if I was using a proper computer, but I think I can see my home from here. Here we are. Look, there's our base. There is our base.